Welcome to another exciting episode of Street Walking. This is your host, Ronnie B. And I'm going to tell you, we have an exciting, powerful lady as our guest. And I'm going to tell you, look, I couldn't sleep last night. I was tossing, turning. I said, oh, no, I got to go interview this lady in the morning. And she's just so warm, friendly. And I'm going to, hey, let me tell you, powerful. We're going to hear her story. Now, of course, we're going to open the show, and you guys are going to get some inspiration for today. And as always, some food for thought. And look, that means like thinking, using your brain. We're going to do that. That's how this show is. Now, each week we work to inform, inspire, and entertain as we provide wisdom from successful people in plain English. That's right. No Ebonics, no Spanish, no German, no Greek. We are going to use plain English. No double talk, double speak. Plain English. Okay, now, and we interview people who do more than talk. The talk, they walk it, and if needed, they build it. The road to success. Now, our wealth building question for today is, for the week, what actions have I been unwilling to take that I know would further my efforts in having my dreams of wealth succeed? What would be available if I started sharing the truth about my unwillingness to take the actions versus my excuses why I can't take the actions? So if you can't own up that there's anything you need to change about yourself, then you can never grow. And, oftentimes we want to make excuses and not look at it. We're just not willing. So our question is look at where you have been unwilling and be honest with it. Like maybe you've been trying to lose, a couple of inches here, and you're just unwilling to give up ice cream late at night. Well, be honest about, look, I'm unwilling to give up ice cream late at night. And I'm unwilling to do that. Guess what? Maybe you can eat that ice cream late at night and give up something you are willing to give up. But as long as you're focusing or denying that you're unwilling, it'll hold a grip over you. And that's in business, romance, through life. So look at where you're unwilling to take action and where you're making excuses about it. Now, this guest today sent me something about love. And I'm like, oh, why she go talk love out there? This is a business show. We want people to be successful entrepreneurs, make a bunch of money and raise their kids right, so I ain't got to, worry about them jacking me. And she gonna send me a subject on love. And as you know, we often refer to our, little book, The Dynamic Laws of Prosperity, because, we into prosperity on Street Walking. We want people to prosper. Please prosper. May do well in life. Please. And I'm looking, and it goes, the prosperity law of love and goodwill. So I'm just going to give you a little bit, because we're not going to do a whole show on this. That's another show. You go to the Bible Millionaires of the Bible, they'll give you the whole deal. Now, I'm just going to read this briefly. Recently, a businessman said to me, I believe that the greatest prosperity law of all is the prosperity law of love and impersonal goodwill. He then told me of some of his experiences in business where love as impersonal goodwill had won out in the face of inharmony and apparent failure. He cited the instance of a wealthy lady customer whom he could always please when her mood was high. But when she was in low spirits, he often received caustic letters or telephone calls in which she would make unkind remarks about his mishandling of her business interests. His antidote for this woman was to use love as impersonal goodwill. He stated that when this customer or any others acted up, goes for children too, during the course of his business day, he had developed a special method for straightening them out. Instead of retaliating or offering a defense when inharmony, criticism, or personality conflicts arose, he would sit quietly for a few minutes, think about the person in question, and deliberately think loving thoughts of goodwill about them. He worked in his own thinking to visualize the person surrounded and enfolded with love, a sense of security, calmness, good humor, and personal goodwill. The result, he states, that the results have been so fast and so pronounced that it has often been breathtaking. For instance, that wealthy, moody woman has often telephoned him long distance to express her profound apologies within an hour after he has visualized her in a loving, kind way. If a telephone call did not come, then she would usually write a note, dating it and timing it. Within an hour or so after his thoughts and blessings concerning her were realized. When inharmony arises in business transactions where several people are involved, this man goes over each person in his mind and blesses each one with impersonal goodwill. He then mentally sees harmony restored in the situation. Soon tempers cool, misunderstandings fade away, and successful transactions proceed. It is good to use this method at the beginning and end of each day. As you look over your day mentally, for all unpleasantness that has occurred, dare to mentally recast that experience. See all concerned as loving, understanding, and harmonious, and you will be surprised how often those involved would do an about-face and make amends for their previous attitudes. Dare to begin your day by mentally going over the planned events for that day, visualizing them as pleasant, harmonious, and successful. Okay, all right, and so that's what this wonderful lady, she inspired me to check that out this morning and get on the subject of love. Okay, and but they're impersonal goodwill, and what inspired me was I was speaking with this great lady, and she said, wow, in the Bible, I know that there's at least one or two of you listeners out there who has actually opened up the Bible and read it more than once in life. I'm sure there is. I'm going to bet a soda on it that there's at least one or two of y'all out there. And what she said is the word love is mentioned more than any other word in the Bible. And so many times, whether you're in the faith, in the spirit, or you're outside that faith or spirit, but you have your own spirituality, and it's like step over that to get to something else. Well, there's a reason it's the most mentioned word in the Bible. And in most faiths, it's the most mentioned item. All right, so think about that. Now, our guest, and I know I've been teasing you. This great guest we got, and I'm just going to tell you something. I hate it when I you know me. I'm a single black man, and I like black women, and I want to go. All the good black women, take it. I'm sitting up there. She got this big old ring, been bag, and I'm like, she got a twin or something. But me, I'm kind of picky. Who's not crazy, who is okay. And I'd like to introduce you to Miss LaTrice Martin-Gault, and she is the CEO of Save Your Property. So you might want to, some of y'all might be in a situation or know somebody in a situation, you might want to hear a couple of comments from this lady here. And she's going to be sharing her story, some of the, I'll just say, some of the nuggets of wisdom that, through not only from her story, but just from her life, her business, because there are different challenges. There's the challenge of you even got into it. But then there's the challenges and disappointments that, wow, I expected this person to do X, and maybe they did Z. or, so, there are those learnings. So we want to get a little hint, because we know a lot of you are either starting up your business or have a business, and it's like, wow, they didn't teach me this in business school, and you need what was taught in business school. So let me turn the microphone over here to LaTrice, and I'm just going to ask her to just tell us a little bit about herself, where she grew up with, relationship, family, kids, all, some of that, so we can just get to really know her a little bit.
Wonderful. I want to give you a hand. Well, yes, again, my name is LaTrice Martin-Gault, and I'm married. You said that, but I'm going to say it again. I am married to one man. His name is Livy Gault III.
Not married to two men.
Not to two men, just to one man. I have one daughter. Her name is Kaylin. I grew up here in Houston, Texas, in the 3rd Ward area, about a block away from my office, and right around the corner. And I grew up in my grandmother's house. I come from a pretty large family. They call us the Martin family. My grandmother, they called him Old Man Martin. He believed in family. My mother, she had 7 siblings and brothers and sisters, and every grandchild carried the last name Martin. So now no one ever knew which ones of us were cousins or which were sisters and brothers, because we're just big old Martin family. And so that's kind of how we are. And so just day to day, my relationships are mostly close to family. I'm a family girl, and so I'm on the phone, with my brother and with my cousins, and we just family. We text messaging and we emailing each other out. And on Sundays I'm with my family, and so that's how it is. And I'm a mom, and a wife first, mom, and a family girl. So that's who I am. From the hood, school of hard knocks. But that's a little bit about who I am. You had some.
Okay, I just wanted to thank you for sharing that. And now, what inspires you each day? Because you've been doing what you're doing for a while, and I know sometimes things get monotonous because it's the paperwork, the people you deal with, even if it's something you love. So what inspires you? What gets you to get up in the morning?
Let's see. Well, I'll tell you one of the things that inspired me. And I'm gonna show you this, ladies. I'm gonna have to get it out of my purse during my break. But I received a letter yesterday. I got home, went to the mailbox, and received a letter, a handwritten letter from one of my older clients, and she's in her 60s. She was going through foreclosure, and she doesn't know anything about the computer. So most people send me an email, but she says I'm shy when it comes to the computer. But that is what inspired me. What inspires me day to day, just God using me to help someone else hold on to their dream. That inspires me. So I mean, it's not much that get me, because a lot of times, of course, in business, you want to just, Lord, this is not it. Everybody have those days, you're like, this is not it, it's not worth it. But I'm telling you, every day someone calls me and say, hey, my loan was modified, or my loan was reinstated, or I purchased my property back today. I refinanced my property because of you. And so those thank yous, the things that God what he does through me, it inspires me. It just lets me know that life is not, first of all, it's not about us. It's always about something else, and it just keeps me going.
I love that, because it's the ultimate of, it's not what you're doing, it's what God is doing through you. And that is just so often awesome. And oftentimes in business, we get focused on what's the right. We get focused on, well, this is the right thing, the professional thing.
Yeah.
This is the how it should do and what I should look like, as opposed to, wait just a minute, right, or how somebody else makes you want to look. But it's really about, what is God doing through you. And, and that includes, I put it like this, you will succeed because God doesn't fail.
That's right.
So you will succeed. Now, LaTrice, what dreams do you see manifesting for yourself and the future of people?
Okay. Well, manifesting for myself, I'm living my dream to help people, to be a vessel. It's what I've always wanted to do, and pretty much what I've always done. Even when I was just a regular bank teller, I was helping people. I was helping someone every day. I just wanted to help, and that's it. I've seen people laugh. I've seen people cry. But I tell you, the dream for me is to just see people, smile, just when they're happy. And when they get up and give those testimonies and my name is mentioned, that is a dream. To remain, the things that, the dream for my people, for my clients, what I'm seeing through them, and how, I'm inspired through them and how I can pull the dream out of them, is for them to remain in their dream, because it's a dream to own a home. Home ownership is a dream, especially, women, because we grew up playing with Barbie dolls and, with the house, because I had the house, the Barbie house. So, as a young girl, I always dreamed of owning a home. And most people do. You dream of the white picket fence. And so the fact that I can assist people with holding on to their dream is just awesome. That is something that God does every day through me and my company, showing people how to avoid this experience ever again, showing my knowledge, sharing my knowledge with them, and they actually do it. That is a dream. Because transformation, when you've never been that way before, and someone, if you, most of us, we don't know anything about where we come from. We don't know anything about credit and money management and wealth building and savings, insurance and wills. I've watched that little play go across, past the play when someone passes, you have to raise some money to bury someone. And so the fact that I can show people or help them to know the importance of insurance and wills and save their money and actually have a budget, and they're actually doing it, that is a dream. That is a dream. Because I'm like teaching people things that I even struggle with. It's a dream to see them actually do that and pull it off. And I guess it's a dream for them too, of course, because people come to me every day and say, I've never saved this much money. This is awesome. I've never had this much money. And I mean, it's awesome.
Hey, old Grumpy, if you're listening now, because I know sometimes that bubble gum we use to put the equipment together, we can still save us some money, dude. And what I really hear, what I hear in what you're saying, as far as the future of people having their lives in order, and I'm gonna stretch that to say in divine order. So that means that it's not just their money. It's it's how they're operating, how they're carrying themselves. So they're living a life with some integrity to it. Okay, now we're gonna, because I know we haven't gotten deep into what Save Your Property does, and that's the company that LaTrice is the CEO of, and we want her to definitely talk about that. And we're gonna just ask her right now to just tell us a little bit about the company, type of services that are offered, and in the next segment we're going to get into some details about, because you're going to really want to hear her story and learn some things for yourself. So LaTrice, just tell us a little bit about the company.
Well, Save Your Property owns properties, own a couple of companies. Save Your Property, I Redeem the Land is how it all began 13 years ago. And of course, we'll get into my story of how it all began. But in that program, we have a lease back program. So for people that lose their property through foreclosure and they were not able to save it, then we have a program where they can actually lease the property back, where we work with the investors. Of course, we work with investors also and assist them in purchasing investment property. And we have an excellent deal for, a program for them that we're actually working on legislation right now. And then our program, the School of Financial Transformation, we call it the SOFT program. And in that program, it's a 12-month program where we take people through the transformation process with their credit, their money management, wealth building techniques, but most of all, the transformation of their minds. We want them to do things totally differently. Like I said, we have the leaseback program. We assist investors, and then, of course, what's hot right now, modifications. We are the master of doing loan modification plans, mainly because I'm from the banking industry. And so the guidelines that the lender, they're asking for, where your debt ratio has to be and how much money they want you to have, I know how to, I know what debt ratio they're looking for. And so when we submit those documents and we ask for a loan modification, and, when we get deeper off into it, I'll tell you exactly what that is. We submit exactly what they need. So it's done. I used to work for the bank, and so I put the package together like the bank's going to put it together, and I submit it to them already done. And so, yeah, leasebacks, investment program, loan modifications, that's what all of my companies do. We save homes. We keep people in their properties.
Keep that dream going.
We keep the dream alive.
Okay, thank you, LaTrice. Now, we're getting ready to take a break. And now, look, keep your ear holes glued to those speakers, because you believe me, you're going to want to hear this story. And you never know, I might even have another little tidbit of inspiration, because that love subject is just it, because I put it like this: there's the romantic, but just the possibility of having love present in all my business transactions. Woo! That sends a chill up my spine, Okay, now you're listening to Street Walking on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. Stay tuned.
Are you a property owner? Do you need serious help? Are you afraid of scam artists that say they will help you keep your home, but really want to rip you off of your hard-earned money and dreams? The foreclosure epidemic is rapidly rising, but that did not stop Save Your Properties from saving 426 homes from foreclosure in 2008. Save Your Properties has the real foreclosure solution. Call 713-522-0290. That's 713-522-0290. Don't get ripped off. Save Your Property is recognized by HUD, many Houston area churches and nonprofits, Houston Council member Wanda Adams, Tavares Jackson, and more. Call 713-522-0290 or visit us on the web at saveyourprop.com. That's saveyourprop.com. Don't wait until it's too late. Call us today.
Can your business afford to lose out on potential funding sources in these turbulent economic times? Can your business afford to miss out on the benefits Congress has already authorized to help small business owners grow? Can your business afford to miss out on the many opportunities to be part of the green revolution that is receiving trillions of dollars in funding? Let e-business lending help you navigate through the maze of rules and regulations in obtaining funding in today's turbulent economic times. Just call Anthony at 877-271-2570, extension 708. That's 877-271-2570, extension 708. Our services are tailored for startup as well as mature businesses. Our strategic alliances with private funding sources allow us to raise capital from many non-traditional resources. E-business lending is your one-stop resource for having the structure, organization, and team needed to take advantage of current and future economic development opportunities. Just call Anthony at 877-271-2570, extension 708. Visit us on the web at ebusinesslendingllc.com.
Welcome back from the break. Have you kept your ear? Did you keep your ears glued to that speaker? Did you listen to some of our sponsors? Now you know we try to eat over here at the Old Grumpy Radio Network. So please listen to our sponsors, and better yet, do some business with them. They're good people. They really are. I've met a few of them. A couple of them have been interviewed on this show, so they're good people. All right. So today we're interviewing Mrs. LaTrice Martin-Gault of Save Your Property. And she's about to get into a story and share her experiences with you. But before we do that, I told you I was touched by love. This a married woman had to touch me by love. And I was reading this comment. Ella Wheeler Wilcox once said that God measures souls by their capacity for entertaining his best angel, love. Truly, love never fails. So, hey, remember that. God measures souls by their capacity for entertaining his best angel, love. And that's a powerful angel there, okay? So welcome back there. Now, LaTrice and God, and LaTrice, want to hear your story, how long, money, failures, all of that, and I'm pretty sure you have that down pat. And we had asked her what inspired her, and she shared a little something on the break, and I think she's going to share it with you guys.
Okay, yes, so I was telling you earlier that I got, when I arrived home yesterday to check my mail, one of my clients had sent me a letter in the mail. And she starts off by saying, "Hi, LaTrice, I'm writing this note because I'm very shy when it comes to the computer. I plan to buy myself a laptop or just explore something in that manner." She's an older lady, so she's not, she doesn't really know how to work the computer, so she wrote me a letter. And so anyway, here she says, "Anyway, as I was saying, I really enjoyed our last class. You are really allowing the Lord to use you, and it's benefiting so many people and making such a deposit in all our lives. I am so grateful to your vision, and I'm really being blessed. I'm basking in your divine focus. It is teaching me to focus even the more." And so of course she goes on and on, because all of my clients were at one point facing foreclosure. And I saved her home, and she's been in this home for such a long time. As I said, she's an older lady. And this particular client, her foreclosure was actually scheduled this past Tuesday that just passed. And she came to me about a month ago, right when she got the notice. And she had been through a lot of other companies. She had been scammed out about $3,000. And she came to us, and within 1 week, we had the foreclosure stopped. And the lender worked on her modification and modified her loan after we submitted the information. She saved money, because I have them put money to the side and begin to save money. And so she was able to even, put her money to the side and begin saving money. And so she's just really grateful. And of course, I'm grateful for her. I'm grateful for all my clients. And so those are the things that inspire me. I have a binder downstairs. Last year, we helped 437 people. And that were facing foreclosure. And 90% of our people are still in their properties today, still doing exactly what they're supposed to do. Every now and then they come volunteer, come to our class. I mean, it's just awesome, because all of them are like, I want to give something back. I just feel like I owe somebody. And so those are the things that inspire me. I'm grateful for them. That's my family. That's my other family. And so about the business, Save Your Property owns Save Your Property, Redeem the Land, the School of Financial and the School of Financial Transformation. Save Your Property is how, like I said, it all began, and that's where it started at 13 years ago. I was my first client. 13 years ago, my grandmother passed away, and it left me with the property. And I owed $31,000 in taxes. And so, and so when people see that Leviticus 25, 23 through 28, that actually is like my story there in that word. The School of Financial Transformation class is a faith-based nonprofit organization whose goal is not only to redeem or restore individuals or family members to their rightful position, but our goal is for them and for that person or persons to never experience foreclosure again. It is a 12-month, 50-hour per year class. We transform their credit, money management, wealth building techniques. They are taught the importance of a will and insurance, as I stated earlier. But most importantly, this faith-based organization, our goal is to transform their mind. I want to change the way people respond to money situations. You understand that as a Christian, we are of the world. I mean, we are in the world. We're not of the world. We are in the world, but not of the world. And so we should handle our money and things like that differently to a higher standard. That's what we believe, right? So I want to change the way people I want to change the way people respond to money situations. You understand that as a Christian, I'm going to do it again. I want to change the way people respond to money situations. You understand that as a Christian, we are in the world, but we are not of the world. We also work with investors, and we are actually at this moment working towards legislation. We work with investors who are interested in ownership, but at the same time, they want to help clients stay in their homes. Our investor program is for real sophisticated investors. We find the property. They choose the property of their choice. We pay their closing costs, their down payment, and we give the investor a nice, small upfront fee. You know, we want it to be beneficial to them because we know that they are interested in investing in property. They have lost nothing. They only gain. We only ask that the investor give the tenant opportunity to purchase their property back. And so for people who are, losing your property goes to foreclosure, investor comes in and purchases the property, what we do is we try to work with the investor to allow that person to stay in their property. And the deal that we make with them is, hey, we'll take care of everything up front for you. And where this is not going to be a risk. It's not going to be as much of a risk as it is you going in and buying a property that you're not familiar with. We're just going to ask that they allow that person to live in the property and give them an opportunity to buy their property back. Because people invest a lot in their properties. And so, for example, my situation, what happened to me, had I lost my property, at the time, my home was worth over $300,000, and we're going to get into, my story. But my home was worth over $300,000. The taxes that I owe were only $31,000, and it was going to be auctioned off first Tuesday of the month. That's the foreclosure day. And so, if the property is going to be sold, it's going to be sold. You don't get your equity back. So everything that my parents, grandparents, everyone had invested in this property was going to be lost. So I had to sell the property. But my investor gave me an opportunity to buy the property back after 12 months. Okay? And so out of that pain, and like I said, we'll get to that. Out of that pain, I was able to create all of these programs that I have now. The businesses that I have now. And so all of our programs offer solutions to major problems. The School of Financial Transformation, most of the people, all of my clients are in the School of Financial Transformation. Like, you cannot come to me to save your property for any program if you're trying to get a modification, or your property's been sold and you're trying to get reinstated, or you're looking for somebody, an investor, purchase your property and you're trying to live in the property. Any program that you do with me, you're going to have to go through the School of Financial Transformation, because what I tell people is that houses don't put themselves in foreclosure. People do. And so 100% of the time something happened, 100%. And you're talking about a 30-year mortgage, maybe 15 years. But in a 15-year, 30-year mortgage, you are going to have a natural disaster, like the storm is going to come, Okay? Someone's going to lose their job. Someone's going to get sick. People are going to die. And so when you go into foreclosure and you call your lender or whoever because of something like that, the lender is really, they're not hearing that because they understand that you understand. They hope you understand or understood when you signed those documents that something was going to happen during that time. And so that's the difference between a subprime loan and a prime loan. A subprime loan, those are the loans that we were getting, and I got one too, and hey, I got a story. I told you that. The subprime loan is a loan that you paid no down payment, your interest rate was high, you took a major risk. That was an adjustable rate mortgage. You knew that. You knew that you had to refinance in the next 2 years. And so what happened, people are not prepared. And so the prime loan, you have to have good credit, you have to have the good debt to income ratio. Your ducks, as we would say, have to be lined up. Everything has to be in order. And so on that prime loan, before we had subprime lending, we only had prime loan lending. People that purchase prime loans, that put 20% down on their property, they understand that you have to have 6 to 12 months reserves sitting in the bank account. Because when you lose your job, the lenders still want to get paid.
Oh, yeah.
They still want to get paid. You lost your job is not a reason for them to stop taking a payment. It doesn't matter. I mean, those excuses don't matter. So they have to come to the class, and once they decide, yes, that they want to come to this class so that we can transform the way they spend their money or respect their money, as my friend LaTrice would say, then I will then assist them with modifying the loan. Okay. Now, modification. What's going to happen with the modification is that, and they're gonna ask this question: What is the modification going to do? The modification is going to bring the loan current. So if you're 6 months behind and your mortgage is $1,000 a month and you owe a total of $6,000 plus the attorney fees because you're in foreclosure. And that's $2,500 every time they file the foreclosure against you because they have to pay an attorney. So that's $2,500 extra for the attorney fees. Plus you got to pay interest every month that you did not pay that mortgage. And so that $6,000 now looks like $15,000 that you are behind for 6 months. So a modification is going to bring the loan current without you having to come up with the $15,000. Just bring it current. Well, how does it happen? They take that amount that you are behind and they put it on the back of your loan. So now if you purchase a property for $100,000 cash, $100,000 cash, no, $100,000 and you got a mortgage, now you owe $115,000 instead of $100,000 because they put it on the back of your loan. Then what they do is they lower your rate. This is a modification. The rate can be lowered as low as 2%. Wow, that's almost nothing. Okay, so right now, if your loan is at, and I'm just going to say, I'm going to say a good rate. If they have a 6% interest rate and they're paying $600 a month, okay, principal and interest only, not the tax and insurance, because we're going to keep it simple. $100,000, 6%, they're paying $600. If the rate is lowered to 2%, you're going to go down to less than $300. You're talking about $200 a month now. Okay, from $600 to $200. And so if you're struggling with, I lost my job or my income, I'm not making the amount of money that I used to make, and I fell behind, so I can't afford that $600. What we're going to do is lower your debt to income ratio down to they want your debt to income ratio to be between 31% and 36% back end ratio, which is what you would qualify for on a prime loan. Are you following me? You're like, yeah. And so what would happen is
I'm with you over here.
that debt to income ratio would come all the way down now. I was at 50 or 60%. Now I come all the way down because I'm only paying 2% and my mortgage is only $200 a month. Okay, excellent program. You don't have to be behind on your mortgage to get a modification, and that's the way it was before Barack came in the house. But now that we got Barack and his new plan, his new home affordable modification plan, 2%, that debt to income ratio can be lowered even if you're not behind on the mortgage. Just have to have a hardship. And so you have to, know basically when you're working with someone, they have to know how to submit your file, because you have to have a hardship. You just can't say, I want a lower rate. No. And so that's everything that we do. Every program that we have brings solutions to problems. We don't just submit we don't just call your mortgage company and say, my client here wants a modification. No, we're submitting a full solution to the problem. Okay, if your loan was already foreclosed on and we can catch it in time enough to get it reinstated, when we contact the mortgage company or your investor, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, we're contacting them with a solution to this problem, because the lenders are not in the business to purchase property. They're not realtors. They're not in real estate. They're in banking. They've already done their part. They're giving you the money, and they want some money for the money. That's called interest, okay? And so, that's what we do. That's what we've been doing 13 years, and it's just been really good. And I'm just going to be honest with you, because I'm about to go into my story now. And this is not something that I've always wanted to do. This is not. This is something that God, He called me to do. Okay, and so, you have people that they just, something looks good to them, and so they just start doing, like you in radio, and someone get with you, and they see he's a street walker, and he goes around interviewing people. Hey, I can do that. No. You have to be called to do. There's a difference between callings and careers. And so the reason why I'm so successful at what I do, and we get these testimonies all the time, is because we're called to do this. Okay, and so, hey, that's it. That's what we do. So you want to hear about my story. And everyone that's, we talked about this earlier, that has a business and it is anywhere near successful, they have a story. Okay, a horror story, like nightmare. And I have one of those nightmare stories. Well, let's see. I remember, you remember that I told you I grew up in the beautiful Third Ward culture, right around the corner from my office, right around the corner from here, and my grandmother's beautiful 3-story home. Yes. And at the time she passed away, the home was worth $300,000 back then. Okay. Well, my grandmother passed away and left me with her beautiful debt. And at the time, I was a fairly new business owner who had some great ideas, but no money and some bad credit. A lot of people out there like that. But how many people know that the tax collector cares nothing about your personal problems? Well, the taxes became due for $31,000, and the property was due to be sold or auctioned off. First Tuesday of the month. That's when the auctions happen. First Tuesday of the month, regardless if you owe taxes or if you owe for a mortgage. Okay. Now the difference between people that owe taxes and people that owe mortgages is this: someone that owes a mortgage that gets behind on their mortgage. The mortgage company is going to foreclose on you, and now the mortgage company has a debt that's still out there. Okay? If you owe taxes on a property that has a mortgage, then the city, state, whoever, they cannot come in and take your property because you owe a mortgage. Really, you don't own the property. The mortgage company does. And so when you get behind on that property that you owe a mortgage on, the mortgage company will pay off the taxes, because there's a lot of people in that situation, and then the mortgage company will now come after the homeowner for the money, and or the property or the mortgage will increase. Most of the time it will double, because they want their money back for that year that they paid plus the next month. They begin to escrow you. I mean, plus the next year, they begin to escrow you. And so now your mortgage double. Well, my situation was very different. And there are a lot of people like this. I did not owe a mortgage. My property was free and clear. And so if your property is free and clear and you owe taxes, now your property, there you go. There you go. Everything that property now is not a debt, it's an asset. Okay? And so when you owe something, anything that you owe, credit cards, you owe for a car, you owe an individual, if you owe property that is free and clear, they can take your property because that's your income. That's your asset. And so that's what happened to me. My grandmother passed away, had taxes that were due on the property. She was exempt because she was older. She was old. And I'm young. And so when she passed away, they came after me for the taxes that were $31,000. So you got me. I want to make sure you follow me. Okay. So the property was due to be sold or auctioned off first Tuesday of the month. At the time, there was no subprime lending, no bad credit loans. None of that existed then. No home equity loans. Couldn't do any of that. Just straight up, you got to pay your taxes, cash. I want you to feel me on this. The property had been in my family since 1920. This property had made it through the Roaring '20s, the Great Depression, Vietnam, Reaganomics, the millennium, all of that. Okay, here I am, supposed to be the big shot and all of that in my family, and the house waits to get to me to get foreclosed. So I prayed about it because that's what I know to do. Situation like this, I just prayed. And I just said, God, I know it's not in your will for me to lose this property. And at the time, I was young. I was about 23 years old. Like I said, a new business owner. Credit was pretty bad. No savings. All the things, all the strikes going against me. But I knew to pray. I knew to do that. And I opened up the Bible. I didn't know the word like I know it now. And as I opened it up, it landed right there. Leviticus 25:23 through 28. And it talks about how we must redeem the land. That's why my program is called Redeem the Land. It talks about how we must redeem the land. And it basically says that when one of your family members is about to lose their property, then the nearest relative is supposed to step up and purchase the property, your kinsman. And it says that after 12 months, that you can go back and purchase the property back. But there are guidelines to purchasing that property back. And basically, you have to have the money to purchase it back. You have to have the money. And it says, in the Bible that you pay that person back what you owe them plus the interest. You owe them because they purchased your property. And so that's basically what I did. I have an uncle who has been graced and favored in the area of finances and credit. He's just always been that type of person. He's always been, the one that everyone runs to when they're in trouble. He still is. So I called him up and I told him what God had given me through this word and what we needed to do in reference to this property because, property had value. It was worth over $300,000. And the taxes were only $31,000. And so I told him what the word said, and I gave him the plan. You purchase this property, and after 12 months, I'm going to purchase it back from you. And of course, I paid him to do the deal. I had 12 months to regain ownership of this property. My uncle is a businessman. And so had I not done what I was supposed to do, he would have done what he was going to do, which is sell the property or do whatever. And that was a fair offer because other than that, the property was going to be sold to a complete stranger. Okay? Who was going to do what investors do? That is what they do. I love them, but that's what they do. So I then put together a 12-month plan, and I completed that plan in 8 months. Wow. Now, I had the plan because at the time, remember, I'm from the banking industry. So I know the guidelines. I wasn't abiding by the guidelines, but I knew the guidelines. I knew that you had to have
informed of the guidelines.
I knew I was a banker, so I was giving people loans at the time based on the guidelines. And so I said, you know what, the same guidelines that I give to other people, that's what I have to do for myself. I have to have a 680 credit score, and my debt-to-income ratio needs to be at 36%. I need to have 6 months put to the side. I need to have a consistent savings. These things, now I'm from a pretty good family, okay? My grandparents, really, they left us sit. They didn't stick us out. Now, you know, there was some drama, but they did leave us sit, you know. And my grandparents, my grandmother and my grandfather, they were pretty smart people. They knew to invest in the land. Remember, I told you, you don't make no more land. And so when times get hard, if you have money, invest in land because they don't make any more. And you can always put your money in the property. But my grandmother, my grandparents, they left us well. But that property, you know, was valuable. It is valuable. Had I not held my end of the bargain, my uncle was going to do what he was going to do. Okay, and so out of that pain, I birthed the two companies, Save Your Property and the School of Financial Transformation, which at the time, the School of Financial Transformation was just the transformation program. And so, because I asked myself, how many people are going through this? How many people, properties are being foreclosed the first Tuesday of the month? Researched about 4,000 properties a month are being sold at the auction just for taxes. Now today, because
that's just Harris County?
No, that is the whole city of Houston. About 4,000 properties a month on their list.
Okay.
Yeah, are on their list. And so worldwide, I haven't checked that, but I can imagine because right now, over 4 million people are facing foreclosure, and they're only giving us numbers now for people that are facing foreclosure due to the mortgages.
Right.
See, nobody was crying about foreclosures 10, 12, 13 years ago. There was no big argument. Okay, now you got companies just popping up out of what they say, the woodworks, just popping up everywhere, trying to do foreclosure, help people in foreclosure because there's a foreclosure crisis.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they know what they're doing.
Yep.
That's why there's so many scams going on. Because people just want to, you know what, there's a foreclosure crisis, and so I'm just going to get out there and start helping people in foreclosure. But those are not, and I even tell people, the School of Financial Transformation is a nonprofit. But even when you go into a nonprofit agency, just because it's a nonprofit does not mean they know what they're doing. Doesn't mean that they are experts in the industry. Okay? And so I know because of, you know, of course, my education, because of my experience, because I'm from the banking industry. But most of all, I know because of what I've been through. I was my first client in both of my programs. Okay? And so, hey, that's the story. Hard story. Hard story.
All right, thank you for that. And you know, it's so inspiring hearing that. Because, you know, the things that happen to you in your life, there's an old statement. And the statement goes like this, that all things conform to the right thing for me. So, you know, you look at some negative experiences you've had in life, once you get enough distance from the feeling, so to speak, the pain, the suffering of it, that was the perfect experience for you at that time. Because if that experience hadn't happened, you may not be doing or taking the actions you're taking today. So you know, it's like, hey, all of that is not, you know, not as lady as say, you know, what was 500 something homes last year, you know, so that experience conformed to the right thing, and you know, couldn't see that in the middle of it, but boy, is it showing up now. Okay, now we do have to take a little break because we got to pay for this program, and you know, since I noticed none of y'all have sent us any cheeseburgers, we ain't got no fried chicken, I mean, so we got to let other people make sure that there's a little bread on the table here. All right, now you're listening to Street Walking, and we're interviewing Mrs. LaTrice Martin-Gault of Save Your Property. Keep your ears glued to that speaker. We'll be right back.
Are you a property owner? Do you need serious help? Are you afraid of scam artists that say they will help you keep your home but really want to rip you off of your hard-earned money and dreams? The foreclosure epidemic is rapidly rising, but that did not stop Save Your Properties from saving 426 homes from foreclosure in 2008. Save Your Properties has the real foreclosure solution. Call 713-522-0290. That's 713-522-0290. Don't get ripped off. Save Your Property is recognized by HUD, many Houston area churches and nonprofits, Houston Council member Wanda Adams, Tavares Jackson, and more. Call 713-522-0290 or visit us on the web at saveyourprop.com. That's saveyourprop.com. Don't wait until it's too late. Call us today.
If you are like me, dental care for you and your family is important, and finding quality, affordable dental care for your family in these tough economic times is challenging. That's why I go to Ideal Smiles. Ideal Smiles provides exams and x-rays for only $20. And Ideal Smiles has 2 locations to serve all of Metro Houston. 900 Normandy at I-10 and 8191 Southwest Freeway between Gessner and Beechnut. Just call 713-453-9926. That's 713-453-9926. Ideal Smiles provides free consultation for braces, lumineers, and the amazing Invisalign system, the modern way to straighten teeth that is practically invisible and very comfortable. At Ideal Smiles, we accept most PPO insurances, Medicaid, CHIP, and there are payment plans available for almost any budget. Get the quality dental care your family deserves at rates you can afford. Just call 713-453-9926. Remember, if you're not satisfied with your smile, call Ideal Smiles today. If you are like me, dental care for you and your family is important, and finding quality, affordable dental care for your family in these tough economic times is challenging. That's why I go to Ideal Smiles. Ideal Smiles provides exams and x-rays for only $20. And Ideal Smiles has 2 locations to serve all of Metro Houston. 900 Normandy at I-10 and 8191 Southwest Freeway between Gessner and Beechnut. Just call 713-453-9926. That's 713-453-9926. Ideal Smiles provides free consultation for braces, lumineers, and the amazing Invisalign system, the modern way to straighten teeth that is practically invisible and very comfortable. At Ideal Smiles, we accept most PPO insurances, Medicaid, CHIP, and there are payment plans available for almost any budget. Get the quality dental care your family deserves at rates you can afford. Just call 713-453-9926. Remember, if you're not satisfied with your smile, call Ideal Smiles today.
Okay, welcome back. You've been listening to Street Walking. I'm your host, Ronnie B, and today we're interviewing Mrs. LaTrice Martin-Gault, CEO of Save Your Property. And this is just, if you came in late, I don't know what to tell you. Well, I do know what to tell you. Listen to the rebroadcast so that you can hear the whole thing. Because you know we're going to rebroadcast it a couple of times. But boy, we've been rocking this morning. Now I'm just going to get right on back to LaTrice here. And, you know, we heard a little bit about her story. And now we're going to hear a little bit more about her business and, you know, how long it took her to get things going. You know, money, how she gets some money to get a business going, failures, successes, any disappointments, and we always ask for, you know, are there any words of wisdom she'd like to give to you aspiring entrepreneurs? So, Miss LaTrice, let me get a mic over to you.
Okay, well, you know, it's been 13 years. Been a very long time. Your question about money. When I originally started my business 13 years ago, I was coming right out of the banking industry. I used to work for a bank, and I started off as a teller, of course, started helping people in mortgages, and I couldn't get any mortgages done because people that came to me had bad credit. So what I did was I started my own, you know, my business, the first business, Mortgage Territory. And so I was able to get loans done. But of course then there was still no subprime lending, and so we do creative financing. We can kind of help people get into their mortgage by kind of creating the scenario for the lender. Got off into, had the best teachers and the worst teachers, and I learned from them. I'm kind of one of those people, but got off into warehousing and was able to get funding, and so it was easier for me to do mortgages because I could actually pull the funding on my own as a banker. And so that was really good for me. Now, when I started the business, remember I told you credit was bad, had no money, couldn't save my house, so I surely couldn't start a business, couldn't get money for that.
You know you got that SBA loan.
No, didn't get SBA loan. I'm telling you, that is the difference between being called to something and just trying to steal somebody else's vision. Okay? I started my business in in my house that I had at the time. My uncle got me a house over in the north side of Houston, 5th Ward to be exact. And the way the house was made, when you walked on the porch, when you walked on the front porch, there was a front door, and then right on that same porch there was a left door. So it looked like a duplex, but it was really the same house. And so the left door was my office. So when people walked in, they walked right into the office. And so my uncle, you know, we had got this house. They got this house from me. And my other uncle, they got together. They bought me a desk. Oh. I had a little bitty fax machine that I paid about $50 for in Office Depot, I remember. It might have been Office Max at the time. And we got a refurbished computer from HISD for $117.
Hey, this deal's that round.
That's how I started my business. And I tell you, the first week I made over $1,000 because as a loan officer, you know, we have application fees, commitment fees, stuff like that. And so God immediately started opening up doors. No money. I had nothing in the bank, but no one knew I had nothing in the bank. But he immediately started. I didn't even have business cards. He started opening up the doors and started making money. That first year, I probably made about $40,000. And so I did pretty good because, you know, I figured, hey, I was making probably $35,000 at the bank. And I started my own business, started making $40,000. I had one wasn't even a real employee, a guy, a high school student who came in every day after school and cleaned up for me. And I paid him $5 a day. That's how I started, with no money. A couple of family members came together and bought me a couple of items out of the side of my house, and my house was making money for me, and that was the best thing since sliced bread. And so that was wonderful. Successes. Well, this is a success for me right now. And of course, do people feel like they reached their peak? I don't feel like I've reached my peak, of course. I don't feel like I'm halfway there. I'm touching the surface, as I would say now. This interview, my speaking engagements, those are successes for me. This is an invitation that I received the other day to Council Member Melissa at large. She's having a gala over at one of her friends' homes. This is a success for me. I received a nomination the other day for an award, a Women Encouraged for God's Purpose Award. That I'm going to get, I'm going to come home with, but I've been nominated for that award. That is a success for me. I'll be speaking at the Black Expo on the 16th at 2:30 p.m. on a panel with, other businesses, major businesses. That's a success for me, that they will want me on the panel. And I leave there, and I have a town hall meeting where I've yoked up with 12 mega pastors in Houston, Texas, and we're going out now, and we're yoking up with mega pastors out of Texas to put on National Foreclosure Day. And so that is a success for me. To have a member or an employee, I would say, of the White House give me a call, respond to an email, that is a success for me. To say I would love to meet with you is a success for me. And so that's kind of where I am right now as a success. The relationships that I've built now, that I never would have thought, 10 years ago that I would have these relationships with Council Member Wanda Adams and Jarvis Johnson. Council Member Wanda Adams and I, we shared, sat side by side on TBN, Channel 14. Actually, it aired Monday, May 11th. Okay, and so that is a success for me. Jarvis Johnson, Council Member Jarvis Johnson and I, we shared an interview on Channel 26 of Fox News. That was a success for me. Got a call the other day. Like I said, they had been nominated for an award. I mean, just a lot of big things that are just happening in my life that I don't even think I've caught up with yet. I don't even think I've caught up to those things yet. Because my pastor said a couple of Sundays ago, he said a lot of times God has moved in your life and you don't even know it yet. You haven't caught up to where he's already done it, and you're kind of like, when is he going? He's already moved. And so those are the type of things that are happening in my life. I just published my next book, and it's actually the textbook that we use in my class. It's called Does Anybody Want to Be Transformed? And it's a spiritual solution to credit and money management issues. We talk about all that kind of stuff, but we always touch on the spiritual side first. And so that book is a success for me. To see my work actually printed is a success for me. And so, hey, that's where I am in my success. Just a lot of big things going on in my life, and I'm just really grateful. I've been humbled, as to say. I've been humbled. I've been through a lot. I've been smacked a couple of times across my head. God, like, pop, sit down somewhere. And so now, I'm like, every time something happens, I'm just, like my client would say, basking. I'm basking, in his glory, and I know it's God and it's not me. It has nothing to do with me, and so I don't pass up the moment to give God glory, because he can use anybody, but he's using me. I don't have any power. I have no power. I'm just plugged into the power. That's it. Okay? And so those are successes for me. Disappointment. You should have asked about the disappointments first. And then I would feel better when I talk about my successes. The devil comes only to steal, kill, and destroy. Or is it kill, steal, and destroy? However way it goes, he wants you out of there. Over the years, I must be real and say that I have had many disappointments. Number one, the people who have tried to duplicate my program, like I brought people in, believing in them, trying to give people an opportunity, and next thing I know, you're the foreclosure expert. Those kind of things are disappointments to me. When I hear people, when I'm loving somebody, because that's what my email was about. When I'm loving somebody, like for real, like in my heart, because everybody can't get to the heart, like for real. We walk around all the time as Christians, and I just love everybody. Yeah, you love everybody, but I'm talking about real love, the real kind of love. Like love is when somebody can make you cry. That kind of love, like it's that for real. Like you thinking about them, you praying for them. Not the kind of love that say, I want to break your spirit. And you don't really want to, you're not, because it's a difference when you say, oh Lord, they don't like me, but I'm just going to love them anyway. That's love. But, oh God, just those, that number one, just the people that I've loved that have done things against me. It didn't break my spirit. It made it, I kept going, but that was a disappointment. That's one of the disappointments that I faced. Two, the organizations that have come up against me instead of wanting to bond with me or work with me. That jealousy thing. Like, what are you jealous for? We can work together. There's no need to be jealous. There's no need to, be afraid or be intimidated. We can work together because we all have gifts and abilities. You may know credit. You may know money management. You may know public speaking. I know transformation. I know how to modify loans. I know how to actually save people from foreclosure. We can all work together. And so that is a disappointment to me. And this one is major. This one is major. And this one is so dear to me. The number of churches, and oh Lord, I hope I'm stepping on your feet. But the number of churches that have still not gotten involved with the foreclosure crisis. Because people are calling the church for benevolence, trying to get help with their foreclosure, and you don't have an answer. There is an answer here that wants to bond with all of the churches, the whole church community and the body of Christ. And we're trying to, yoke up with all of the ministries. And so the ones who don't want to get involved, like how can you not want to get involved when your people are hurting? And see, the church is a pillar of the community. People go there for answers. I believe that the answer should be there. I would love to share with them. So the ones who don't want to get involved, that is a major, major disappointment to me. People who, this is my last disappointment, go through foreclosure, don't want to tell anybody because of shame, pride, and embarrassment, and Lord have mercy. We talked about this. And I tell you, about 5% of my clients are, they come to me, non-Christians. Those are the ones who let it all out. They tell the truth about the situation. They say, hey, this is my problem. This is what's going on. They tell it like it is. The ones who so claim to be, they come with all the pride. They don't want to let nobody know. And they come to me at the last minute or after it's too late. Because they want nobody to know. And then how about the ones that have been through foreclosure, got help, but because they're embarrassed, they won't open up their mouths and tell other people what to do or where to go because they don't want anybody to know what they've been through. Stingy with the love. Oh my God. So those are major disappointments for me. I have just oh Lord, I've just just been through a lot in business. Lost definitely a lot of money. Now you talked about failures. Did I talk about failures?
Well,
I went from money to success. Because I didn't say this, a lot of them. Bad businesses, lost a lot of money. Did I say that?
You may not have.
Lost a lot of money, hiring. whosoever wills. Did I say that? Seems like I always had to learn the hard way. I didn't say that. I felt like I said that because we was talking. Okay. So, oh, you can delete all that little stuff, right? Okay. Failures. You asked about failures. Oh my God. I had a lot of them too. A lot of those. Bad business deals. Lost a lot of money. I cannot. If I would just, I wish they let us put that on our tax returns. The money, the loss. I mean they do, but you know, like literally, like this is a loss. Because I've lost. That should be a write-off, okay? A real write-off. The money that I've just gave away. Hiring the whosoever wills. That led to the other one, the disappointments. I should have talked about the failures first. Hiring the whosoever wills, lost. Did I ever say I lost a lot of money? Lost a lot of money.
Lost a lot of money now.
And lost a lot of time for the new entrepreneurs, people who are inspiring. Be very cautious of your time and who you give your time to, because I lost a lot of time. Just one of my gifts, and I have chief of staff now, and I'm really grateful for her because dealing with hiring people, I just want to hire everybody.
Yeah.
I just want everybody to be blessed. I want to give everybody some money. I'm going to give everybody half, and then at the end of the year, I look at my tax returns, and I took home the negative, and everybody else got a positive. Lost a lot of money, lost a lot of time. Seems like I always had to learn on my own, as if no one ever told me or tried to tell me like what to do. What was that about? I had no idea. I almost feel like I was my own teacher in a way, because it's as though every lesson I've learned is because I had to actually go through that. Yep. I had to experience that. And then now I can say, I know this works because I was my first teacher. Yep. And so those are some failures. The worst mistake I've ever made is when, I told you, mortgage territory first, and then Save Your Properties was an extension of mortgage territory, and also the transformation program was what it was called then. When I realized that we were about to have a major crisis, in 2004, I pulled people together, some investors that I would say, pull some people together and to form Save Your Property as a standalone company. And pull them people together and came up with this idea how everybody was going to benefit. And they invested like a little bit of nothing money. It was crazy. And I think about what I did now, I'm like, that was crazy. But because we always see stuff, I saw it today and I wasn't looking at what was going on then. I could only see the vision. I didn't know how to get there. So I was so in a hurry. And I just made some bad business deals. Just trying to just being in a rush. And so that was one of the worst things I've ever did, being about the money. Because I was looking at the money. I was looking at the dollar sign. And because of that, I made a bad business deal. It wasn't good for business. Yeah. And so, brought in the money. And, oh, Lord, I remember when we first did the deal, we were making so much money. It was crazy. But when the foreclosure market really hit, all the lenders went out of business. Because at the time, I was warehousing, so I was able to get money and give the money to the people, to my investors who were actually invested in these property. And so what happened, my lenders went out of business, and I wasn't able to get any money, which means they weren't able to get any money, which means we lost a lot of money. I lost a lot of money because my investors had only put up a little bit. My original investors for the Save Your Property deal, they had only put up a little bit, little money. Like that money was gone the first month. There wasn't even advertising money. And so just, bad business deals, we just got to be wise about what we do. Just take our time. Which brings me to the last question. You said words of wisdom. Be anxious for nothing. For nothing, I say again. But in everything, prayer, supplication, make your requests known unto God. For real. In business, as a Christian, we must not be anxious. We have to slow down. You got to write it down, count the cost, prepare. I cannot say enough. Prepare and then move. And then move. Do not move until you got the plan fully, from start to finish. And don't bring anyone else in and let them do the plan. That's crazy. I paid crazy money for that. Like, write it down yourself. Take the time. If it takes you a year, take the time and put it together. Look at the start to the finish, and just take your time. Don't hire anybody until you figure out how your entire business operates. Like, why would you bring in people and you don't know how the business operates yourself? Get your files together. Organize from beginning to end. And just take your time. Again, take your time. Be patient. And don't get ahead of yourself.
That was really, really great. Really, really great. So many times I've seen people heartbroken because they wanted to have a business, but they wanted to rush. Yeah. Now, one of our things on Old Grumpy Radio and Street Walking is the multi-level marketing. Now, there was a time when it was new, and I'll just say money could be made. Now it attracts people who are greedy and lazy. Yeah. Because there's no business that can defy business laws and rules.
That's right.
There just is none that can do that. Right. And what a lot of people get sold on is that they're going to defy the rules of business with a multi-level marketing. And I'm not saying that because I put it like this: Avon work.
It does work.
Mary Kay work. They've been around. Amway work. Right. But if you notice something about their structure, they don't pretend that you're going to make a lot of money doing a little bit of work and a little bit of investment. Okay. Now, hey, when you get that, it's not the product or service you have to offer. People do business with people they like, and business comes to you out of who you're being and what work you did in.
That's right.
When you're tiny, you can't compete with the big boys for what they can offer. But maybe you can be of more service than that they'll be. Some of the things we do at Old Grumpy Radio, we do for our customers, our advertisers, the big boys won't do because they're going to charge for every little thing. Where we're tiny, but we're mighty. So we're not nickel and dime. That bit of service is what we have to offer. Old Grumpy owned a video store. And he did. He owned a video store when they had mom and pop video stores before the Blockbusters, all of that. Okay. And he was open, and he opened his business in the hood. Okay. And he was open from 8 a.m. till midnight.
Wow.
And no video store in the area was open that late. And at the time, you used to have a deposit, put up a credit card, do all that stuff. Yeah. He only asked that you have a current utility bill and an ID. And he had people coming in all the time because he had service. You could call, he put a movie to the side for you. Now, he was the little guy, and they did open up a Blockbuster, Hollywood, all of that. But when they would be closed, he was still open. When they had all these requirements, bring in a current utility bill. If you were late on your videos, he wouldn't let you accumulate. He'd go to your house and just pick them up and say, why don't we wipe that out so that you can still be a customer. So, that's just, you aspiring entrepreneurs, you got to do the work. And you have to, it can't be all about, I'm going to make the money, how do I get the money? Because people do business with people they like.
That's right.
So, and, there's an old saying, you reap what you sow. So, a lot of y'all don't want to do no sowing. You got to sow. You can't be reaping without doing a sow. Okay, now, you've been listening to Street Walking. LaTrice has been fantastic. Keep your ears glued to the speakers. We'll be right back.
Are you a property owner? Do you need serious help? Are you afraid of scam artists that say they will help you keep your home but really want to rip you off of your hard-earned money and dreams? The foreclosure epidemic is rapidly rising, but that did not stop Save Your Properties from saving 426 homes from foreclosure in 2008. Save Your Properties has the real foreclosure solution. Call 713-522-0290. That's 713-522-0290. Don't get ripped off. Save Your Property is recognized by HUD, many Houston area churches and nonprofits, Houston Council member Wanda Adams, Tavares Jackson, and more. Call 713-522-0290 or visit us on the web at saveyourprop.com. That's saveyourprop.com. Don't wait until it's too late. Call us today.
Hey, haircuts for adults only $8 and children only $6 every Tuesday and Wednesday at Amazing Hair and Beauty Supply. Ladies, come by and check out our amazing specials every Tuesday and Wednesday. Relaxers only $50. Shampoo and set only $30. Amazing Hair and Beauty Supply is open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Just call 713-435-0030. That's 713-435-0030. Amazing Hair and Beauty Supply is located at Walnut Bend and Meadow Glen Lane in the West Chase District. Be amazed by our friendly and professional service. Stop by today.
Welcome back to Street Walking. This is Ronnie B, and we're interviewing Miss LaTrice over here. And you know what? I'm going to tell you again. Now, if you're just coming into the broadcast, whoo, you missed so much. Whoo, yeah, and your buddy's going to talk about you bad. They're going to say, you should have heard this broadcast. Now, Miss LaTrice, we wanted you to give us a couple of your suggestions or tips for how to handle, ourselves in these turbulent economic times.
I got some stuff. Let me pull some stuff out of my hat. Let's see here. Before you go grocery shopping, cook all the food in your refrigerator or use all the food in the pantry. Okay? Don't buy the same foods over again. Because a lot of times, I realize I have 4 bottles of ketchup. Because every time I go to the grocery store, I'm like, do I have ketchup? So make sure you using, grits. I'm buying grits and rice. 3 boxes of rice and why? You don't need to buy it again. So make sure you're using what you already have before you go buy more stuff. Cook up your meat. You may have dinner for 2 weeks, at least a week, if you just use what you already have before you go make groceries. That's number 1. Take a lunch to work. Okay? 3, that's simple. Take a lunch to work. You're going to save some money. Besides, you might get hungry throughout the day, and it stops all that little snacking anyway and overeating. We can all, stand and lose some weight. If you only have 1 child, now this is going to offend some people, okay? But if you only have 1 child, you don't need a 5-bedroom home. Downsize. Like, why you have all the room? My brother said it today, and that was a really good idea. And I was like, I'm going to tell that to my people.
From the 1 child.
People want these big dream homes. Downsize. Sell the dream home. Get you a smaller home. If it's only 1 child in the home, 3 bedrooms is enough. You got your room, you got your child's room, and you have a guest room. Okay? Now, really, this is what one of my mentors would say, Marilyn Logan, the money lady. This is what she would say. If it's a married couple and there are 2 girls, she would say, still downsize and get a 2-bedroom. She says, you and your wife, y'all share the same room, Why they can't shut the sidewalk? They don't even pay bills. So you could do that one, but you know, I have an only child, and I'm gonna, you know, definitely I would want her to have her own one, even when I have another child. So but that's something to still think about. If it's tight, downsize the house. Do your budget for the month and use your cash allowance. Budget and spend what you say you're going to spend. If the cash allowance say that you're going to spend $300 for the month, and I'm talking about that's fast food, going out to eat, if you're going to get your hair done, nails done, whatever, if you're saying $300 is your budget and that's what you can spend because people lie, numbers don't, then that's exactly what you should do. Okay? Use your cash allowance and don't deviate from that. Number 5, if you live close by your job, walk to work. Okay? We could all lose a few pounds. I'm going to say that again. Especially in Houston. Cardio. We're overweight. They say we're overweight. Number 6, if you own your own business, can you work from home? Start a home-based business. Remember, I told you that's how I started off. Everything you own should make money right now. Okay? Because I'm almost asking my daughter to give me gas money. When I move my car, I need to make sure I'm moving my car because I'm going to get some money. Okay? And so everything you have should make money right now. If you can put the business inside the home, that's what you need to do. Home-based businesses are doing wonderful right now. Really. 7, call all your creditors and ask for a lower rate or threaten to pay off the bill. That's going to save you some money.
At least ask.
Yes, at least ask them to lower the rate.
Just don't know.
It's hard right now. 8, even if you are not behind on your mortgage, request to see a copy of the note. Produce the note. Because if they can't produce the note, the mortgage gets wiped away. Okay? So yeah, everybody needs to do that. Okay? Produce the note. 9, contact all your utility companies and ask for a better rate or shop around for another utility company. That's the way to save some money. The last one, save every dime you can, and if you have too much money, buy real estate. No matter what they say, you can't go wrong with land. They don't make any more of that.
Does Bill Gates have too much money?
And Bill Gates has a lot of real estate, okay? Buy land. And so we have some questions.
Okay, let me get to these emails here. That was really great. You know, unfortunately, I'm not in the category of too much money yet. But now that I know what to do when I get too much money, I feel so much more at peace. And, okay, we had a couple of emails. We sent a couple of promos out. And we have an email here from Dolores, Antioch, Michigan. There are so many scams out there from supposedly reputable people who claim they will help you keep your home, but really just want to rip you off. What steps do you recommend homeowners should take to make sure they're dealing with a legitimate group?
Okay, well, the first thing that I would do is check around for referrals. Everybody knows somebody that is or has been through foreclosure, even if they're not saying anything. Because a lot of people don't say anything. That's why we do the town hall meetings, break the silence of foreclosure so people can come and speak out about the situation. And so the first thing you should do is ask for referrals. Don't go to anybody that you've never heard anything about. Don't go to anyone that, especially if you're paying for the service, okay? So don't go to a service that hasn't been referred to you. Check for referrals, check their references, check and see who is, referencing this person, who's sponsoring them or things of that nature. And so that's the first thing that I would do. How much is the fee? If it's more than your mortgage, that makes no sense. Don't pay for a service that's more than the mortgage. You could be paying for your mortgage. pay the mortgage note. Thirdly, and this is probably one of the most important things, ask them, the person who's going to assist you with the mortgage, exactly what are you paying for. You need details. Like, what is this fee for? For Save Your Property fee, they're actually paying for, no matter what we do, they're really paying for the class for 12 months, 50 hours. They get an actual consultation. So they're not just going to a website, filling out their own information, and then faxing my company some information. They're actually coming in. They're sitting down with us. We're actually doing the work for them, okay? And we're consulting them. We're putting together a package like the bank would do. Because remember, I'm from the banking industry. So I'm doing exactly what the bank does. I'm not just taking someone's information and faxing it to the lender. You can fax your own information. Okay? And so make sure you know exactly what you're paying for, what the service is. And that's the easy way to get away from the scam. Because you start asking people a lot of questions, and they don't want to answer a question, and it's a $3,000 fee, you just got away from that. Okay? And I would actually research that person's name. When people call me even to do business deals, I research who they are, what they're doing, who they're connected to, and things of that nature. So that's where you start. That's going to save you. Okay?
And you know, it's so right on. You start asking specific. Now, notice I said the word specific. Specific is not vague. A lot of you ask vague questions that you think are specific. No, you need questions that people have to answer yes or no to, or give you a detail. So that's one way you avoid scams. Now we have Miss Sabrina. Got it. H-Town is in the house. Now Sabrina says, is it true the bank can sell your home once they have sent you a foreclosure notice without telling you? I heard people in California are waking up and finding a moving truck pulling into their driveway with the new owners ready to move in. If this is true, something definitely needs to be done about it.
Okay, now you said that I'm trying to understand her question because I've never heard it. Sell your home once they have sent you a foreclosure. Yes. Okay, the bank sends you a notice 21 days before the foreclosure, certified letter. Then you know your property is going to be foreclosed on this day. On that day, which is the first Tuesday of the month, it may be at 9 a.m. or maybe at 1 p.m. That property is going to be auctioned. It's going to be sold. Bye-bye. It's gone. And so I think a reason why a lot of people wait to the last minute, they don't believe the letter. It's true. It's really going to be sold. And do not wait to the last second. That is horrible. Don't do that.
Okay, now we have Johnny out of San Antonio, Texas. I heard the promo saying you guys are going to have an expert on home foreclosures on the show. I'm glad you guys keep making sure your program is relevant for today's issues. My question to your guest is, what impact will President Obama's stimulus for homeowners will have on lowering the number of foreclosures? Many of my friends say it will do nothing, but I think the president genuinely wants to support the little guy.
Genuinely, the president is supporting the little guys. There's a $75 billion home modification plan that he has created. The modifications, of course, we've been doing modifications before people knew Barack's name. Okay, and so, but this plan is an excellent plan. This is the plan that I was telling you about earlier with the 2%. They'll drop it down to 2%, bring your loan current, all those things, and everyone benefits. So the lender, the borrower, they're not the only one that benefits. The lender actually benefits as well. The lender is actually getting $1,500 per year for 3 years if that loan is modified. The borrower is not only getting their rate lowered and the loan brought current, but the borrower is also getting $1,000 per year towards their mortgage as long as they stay current in this modification plan. Now, those are the pros. The con to this, and this is why transformation is so important. The plan is not permanent. So when your interest rate is dropped to 2%, after 5 years, it begins to go back up again. And so you have to get out of the mortgage. This is only a temporary plan, but it will fix the situation, momentarily. They have to be approved. You just can't call your mortgage company and get it. And so this is why you have to get with a reputable company, because you do have to be approved. You have to be qualified for this modification plan. But it is out there and it does work.
All right. Okay. All right. Little shout out there to President Barack Obama there. What's up, Michelle? You go, girl. All right. We have Maryland. Oh, well, we got their old hometown. We got Maryland out of Chicago, Illinois. Oh, Brumpy, please tell your foreclosure expert that the scam artists are lurking. I just saw an interview on Good Morning America where this lady lost a home where she actually had $100,000 in equity and did not know she was signing the home over to the scam artists. If you have a sizable, now her question is, if you have a sizable amount of equity in your home and you're looking at foreclosure, can't you make some type of arrangement to keep the equity? I mean, what if I have $100,000 in equity and owe $50,000? It doesn't sound fair the bank should get to foreclose and the person gets nothing.
Well, it's not fair for the person to have to pay their mortgage. Remember, I told you, houses don't put themselves in foreclosure, people do. So if you sign a promissory note, 15 years, 30 years, whatever it is, you agree to pay the mortgage X amount of dollars every month. If you've been paying that mortgage 29 years and the last year you stop paying your mortgage, they're going to take your property. That's how it goes. Okay? Now, in this situation, that's actually not what happened. In this situation, there are some groups that practice leaseback program. Okay? But their leaseback program it's very different from what we do. What they do is someone gets behind on their mortgage and they may owe, like they said, $50,000 on the mortgage, but the house is worth $100,000 or $150,000, and so they have $100,000 in equity. But they're behind on the mortgage, and so the mortgage company is getting ready to foreclose. First Tuesday of the month, they've gotten the letter. It's going to be sold, no doubt. Someone comes in, knocks on the door, and says, "Ma'am, I will pay your mortgage up for you. I will bring you current. You are currently behind $10,000. I'll pay the mortgage company this $10,000, and you give me your deed. You have just sold your home legally." It's nothing illegal about what they're doing. Let me tell you when this becomes a problem. When the person don't pay the second person back. You didn't pay your mortgage. You just did a deed with somebody and you sold your home to them. They're doing a lease back program for you. So that means that now you have to pay them for the lease. Whatever it is, $1,000 a month for so many years or whatever that agreement is. I don't know what the agreement is. But what will happen is this person fails to pay them the $1,000 a month. Now they own your home. They can kick you out. Okay? And so people have to read the fine print. What are your choices? Your property is going to be sold. Your loan cannot be modified. I guess because they're not calling to get a modification, or they couldn't get a modification, or they didn't get help in that situation. Your home cannot be modified. And so the question is, what are your choices? Do you let the house sell at the auction, or do you work with somebody that can, do this, or, like I said, our program. Whatever you do, if the property's in foreclosure, yes, you're going to lose your equity if your property's in foreclosure. But you don't have to lose all your equity. It's the deal. Like our program, we work with the investors. We go to the investor, and if the person has in the equity, it's a flat fee. What we're going to do is we're going to pay for that investor's down payment, their closing costs, and we're going to give them a small amount of money up front for them to allow this person to live in the property. When the person purchases the property back, and they're not paying anything extra on the mortgage, they're just paying exactly what the mortgage amount is going to be, that the person that's living in the house, the owner. So when the person goes through transformation, get transformed, and purchase the property back, what's going to happen, they're going to still have all of their equity. They didn't lose anything. And so they have to read the fine print of what they're getting themselves into, and, you know, they have to read the fine print. That's just the bottom line. People just sign away. You know, if you know you can't do the deal, don't do the deal. You know, people are so emotional. I'm just going to sign over my deal to you, my house to you, for this amount of money. Do some research. We're all over the internet. If you look up my name, all kind of stuff come up. And so do some research before you sign over $200,000-$300,000 worth of equity. Okay?
Also, it does not hurt. Like they always say, get a second opinion when it comes to something medical. Hey, don't go, the first person you go to offering you, you know, hey, I'm going to save you, check out a few before you do anything. And, you know, you might learn, well, wait just a minute, why did this one say A and this other one say B? So that tells you right then and there you got to do a little more homework.
That's right.
Okay, now we have, we got two more emails. We have Michael from Haynesville, Louisiana. Have you heard about the homeowners going through foreclosure who knowingly rent out their homes, collect the rent, and then the renters wake up to find the sheriff knocking on the door to evict them? It is a crying shame how some people would take advantage of a bad situation. Oh, I have heard those stories.
Now, I haven't heard that they knowingly rent out the house knowing that it's going through foreclosure. But I have heard that the property is being rented to a tenant, and then they may have given this person rent, they fail to pay the mortgage, and the property goes through foreclosure. And yes, they're going to come with the U-Haul truck, and you're going to get up out of there. Now, hopefully, usually if the property is going through foreclosure, the person that's living in the home would get served with those documents that belongs to the homeowner before the U-Haul truck, because it's a process. It's a long process before the U-Haul truck comes. That means that everything has been ignored. Yeah. So people don't just show up at your door with a U-Haul. It's a long process, okay? The property has to be foreclosed on first at the auction, which means you would have already been notified. That letter is going to come. That certified letter is coming to that address. Regardless of where your mailing address is, it's coming to that address. So they know. After that happens, then the property is actually foreclosed. Usually the next step is you get a letter from a real estate agent saying that they have now acquired this property and they want to sell it, so they want you to move out. Now, in that document, it's going to say you're going to have this amount of time and we're going to file a writ of possession. Because a U-Haul truck doesn't come unless there's a writ of possession by the judge. Okay, because there's still documents in place. Everything, documentation, those are legal documents. So that real estate agent sends that document, sends that letter telling you that the property's been foreclosed, you need to move, you got a certain amount of time, but they're filing a writ of possession. You got another letter. By this time, you should be thinking, okay?
Why is my homeowner, my landlord getting all these notices?
Getting all these notices from realtor certified letters, something should be clicking in your mind. Yeah. After that letter comes, if you don't respond, they go ahead and file the writ of possession. Because the real estate agent's driving by, they know you still live there. So they know they have to file a writ of possession. Now they have to go to the courthouse, file the writ of possession, and then a constable has to come serve you notice telling you to move out. They have to actually put this in your hand. They can't come with a U-Haul truck if you haven't been served. Now, constable comes, serves you with the notice, say you have to move. Read the notice. This is not in, now this notice that you're going to be served with is not in an envelope. And so it's a document. You can read it. Yep. Okay? You have to sign saying you're the one that signed for it. In that documentation, it gives the person that's living in the house a court date. Because it actually says, if you are not the homeowner, if you are renting, please come to court, blah, blah, blah. Show documentation. Guess what? When you go to court 2 weeks later, you tell the judge, I'm a tenant. The judge is going to say, go back home, they got to start over. What's happening is they're not responding. And they're thinking that it's going to go away, but it's not going to disappear. It's not going to go away. If you go to court, the judge is not going to make you leave. They're going to make them start over. Now, Fannie Mae has a program like our program. Once Fannie Mae, as the investor, forecloses on your property, that's like Countrywide foreclosed on your property. Countrywide was servicing a loan that was owned by Fannie Mae. Fannie Mae now owns that property. It's an REO property. Okay? Fannie Mae evicts the person that's in the home and realizes that the person that's in the home is a tenant. Fannie Mae will lease that property to the owner. Lease purchase program. Just like ours.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right. So to answer your question there, hey, look, you're going to get some warnings.
Oh, yeah.
Where now, I put it like this: if you're listening to your landlord and you got people knocking, dropping off stuff, your landlord just lying to you, and you need to make some plans here. Okay. Now we got our final email from Karen in Beaumont, Texas. I heard of this lady in Florida who is a legal assistant who started saving people from foreclosure by having them demand the mortgage company provide the original documentation. According to the story, if they cannot provide original signed documents in court, they cannot legally foreclose because they cannot prove they own the property. Is that true? Also, I'm starting my own business. I know the economy is in a mess, but I think it's a great time to jump in before everyone once the economy improves. Any suggestions about how to prepare and what to watch out for? So she had two questions there.
Okay, so according to your first question, remember when we talked about the how to prepare in the times, and that was my number 9. Number 9 is if you own your property, even if you're not behind, this is a good time to request. It's called the produce the note. Have to do it in writing. And if your lender cannot produce that note, and that's a good thing, because with the subprime marketing, a lot of the loans were sold and warehoused and all that kind of stuff. And so a lot of lenders can't find those notes. I had one happen the other day. Okay, someone that's really close to our organization called her lender. Wrote her lender a letter. Produced the note. They couldn't produce it. She has a free mortgage now.
Does she have a free mortgage or?
Free house. Free house. And so that is a true story. That is very true. Produce the note could get you off the hook. So you got to be paying attention right now, because there's some stuff. Let me tell you, my friend LaTrice, we were talking the other day. There aren't any rules right now. There aren't any rules, and so it's some way to get out of it. It's some ways to keep your home, but you got to pay attention. Have to be smart, and you got to prepare. All right. Now the second question that she asked, she's starting a new business, and what did she say? Starting a new business. No, the income is some suggestions in reference to starting a new business. Yeah. Basically what I said earlier. Just make sure you prepare. Definitely prepare. Don't be anxious. Don't be in a hurry, because a lot of times God will give you a vision and you see, right now all you have is a recipe for a hamburger. That's all you got right now. But you see McDonald's. You see 1,000 franchises. You see that. And so what you do right now with a recipe is go get a whole bunch of people to get franchises. You not ready for a franchise? Just slow down.
Sell the burger.
Sell the burger right now. Master this burger. Master the plan for the burger. Don't worry about the franchise right now. And a lot of times we make mistakes because we're trying to, you can't walk on water yet. Okay? And so right now, really just learn, just listen. Just listen and just do what you're supposed to do. Don't worry about going out, hiring people, doing all that. Master your plan. Get a plan, master your plan, then move. Prepare, then move. And keep some stuff to yourself. Because the next thing you know, whatever the business is, somebody else will be doing it. Or they'll be trying to do it. Because if it's for you, it's for you. And you don't have to worry about all of that. But Yeah, that's what I have for people that are just starting. People they want to be big overnight. You're not going to. I was telling somebody the other day. You know, my pastor. We've been in existence, I think, for about 9 years. And although everything happened quick, God moved really quick for him. But he went through a lot. And so, you know, now we have 13,000, 17, I don't know, 18,000 members. It's a crazy number. But that's years of hardship. That's years of, overturning, making mistakes and falling, getting back up, and just all kinds of stuff. A lot of hardship, but people see where he is today, and that's what you want today. You can't get that today. You're going to have to go through what he went through, and don't nobody want to go through all that. Because I've been through a lot, and so you look at me, you look at the house, and you look at, what's going on now, but you don't want to walk in these shoes. But I tell you this, after the promise has manifested, it'll all be worth it. It'll all be worth it.
You notice after the success, nobody wants to give it back. I'll put it like that. They don't want to give it back at anything. Well, LaTrice, it has been just so great having you on the show, and just your spirit, your energy, just what your whole organization is about. And, ultimately, I could sum it up in one word, and that's, I'd say a couple of words: making a difference. And, to you young entrepreneurs out here, I always say take care of being of service. If you can be of service, you'll get, people will stick with you through when you might not have the most perfect materials or even the best of products, but if you're being of service with what you have, people appreciate that. And they'll, they might even spend a little bit more money with you. Oh, I can save some money, but, I just don't get the service I get from this person. Service is just so, so valuable. And now, LaTrice, we would like you to give people some information on how they can get to your website. Also, how it's best to contact you if they have any further questions, or if they, some of these people need some help with their foreclosures. And I think you were saying you had a kind of a webcast or something, so let them know all about that too.
Okay, let's see. My website address is, of course, www.saveyourprop.com. My office address is 4407 Austin Street. We're in Houston, Texas. And our phone number is 713-522-0290. That's 713-522-0290. Now, if they're facing foreclosure currently, they can go on the website at saveyourprop.com, click on modification, loan modification, fill out that information. It comes directly to my office, and we get started right away. We contact your lender right away, let them know you submitted information for us to begin a loan modification. And from there, someone from our office will contact you, or you can contact us either way once we speak to your lender and see what the situation is, if you can even qualify for a loan modification, and we'll go ahead and get started. And so that's pretty much it. I'm also on Facebook. They can send me a Facebook request. And let me see, LaTrice, LaTrice, Martin, MARTIN /Gault, GAULT. Gault like vault. And so yeah, that's it. That's what I have. That's how they can reach me.
Okay. And any final thoughts?
Just, I'm just praying for our nation as a whole as it relates to the foreclosure. There are over 4 million people right now that are currently in foreclosure, and that's only the ones that are facing foreclosure due to mortgages. That's not the ones that are facing foreclosure due to taxes. There are, of course, millions of those as well, but people have forgotten all about those people who are facing foreclosure. We do have many, many programs. We can help them. We can save them. We can transform them. And most of the time, that's what it's about. It's about the person being transformed, their mindset. They need to respect their money. They need to know how their money works. And they need to master that, because houses don't put themselves in foreclosure. People do. In today's society, we got to stay focused, and we have to be about the business at hand. There's so much going on, and so pay attention. There aren't any rules. Be prepared. For my entrepreneurs, be prepared, and don't be anxious. Take your time and make sure you count the costs and write the plan out, and then move forward. And so I just had a wonderful time here today. I am so grateful for this opportunity, and I can't wait to come back. We just start a foreclosure show. So many people are going through this, and so many questions. And I just really like when people open up and begin to even ask the questions, because people want to sit behind, and just sit quietly like nothing's wrong when everything is wrong.
Everything is wrong.
And so I tell you, because we all got issues and problems, and no one is exempt from that. And so I'm just grateful to be a tool. And so, again, give me a call, 713-522-0290, website, saveyourprop.com, and we're just here to help. Facebook, you can reach me on Facebook. And so I thank you.
Okay, really, really great. And you can also send emails to streetwalking@oldgrumpyradio.com, and we'll make sure everything gets to Miss LaTrice here. And wait just a minute. Wait. More info.
They can also email me at info at saveyourprop.com, and we answer those emails immediately. Okay, thank you.
All right, okay, hit up that info. That way I don't have to go through all of my email. Okay, we really had, LaTrice, we just had so much fun with you, and we really want to thank you and show our appreciation for you, spending so much time with us. We know you got a busy staff. You got a lot of folks who need a lot of help, and you got a lot of things going on. So it is our honor that you're on our show. Now, some of you listeners, I just want to share this, that once you start getting your business going. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I got relatives. And my relatives are like this. Once you got everything working, then they want to come and help you, then they're like, well, you know what, let me help you run your business, but I'll be in the background. And, I got an email from a relative who said that, and I mean, he didn't exactly say those words, but the bottom line was, well, now that we see that you guys got things kind of going, getting on and everything, when I come down there, I can kind of help you do certain things and, help you run the business, but I'll be in the background. And so you aspiring entrepreneurs, love them. Go do what you need to do. And I always said, don't hire anybody that you can't fire. Don't do that. Don't hire anybody that you can't fire. Because, see, I love everybody, but don't hire anybody you cannot fire. So now, we're glad you listened to another episode of Street Walking. As you know, there will be a couple of rebroadcasts of this program. I mean, it is so hot. We know we're going to have to rebroadcast it a couple of times. So keep your ears open to hear that. And, just really want to say, we always start out with our challenge. And we always want you to look at what excuses you're using, that are keeping you from fulfilling your dreams. And remember, all excuses do is build monuments of nothingness. Nothing. So build something. I put it like this: don't be afraid to fail, because at least you'll know you're alive. All right, we love you. Until next week, this is Ronnie B, Street Walking. I got my shoes on. I'm getting ready to hit those streets. Bye-bye.
Are you a property owner? Do you need serious help? Are you afraid of scam artists that say they will help you keep your home but really want to rip you off of your hard-earned money and dreams? The foreclosure epidemic is rapidly rising, but that did not stop Save your properties from saving 426 homes from foreclosure in 2008. Save Your Properties has the real foreclosure solution. Call 713-522-0290. That's 713-522-0290. Don't get ripped off. Save Your Property is recognized by HUD, many Houston area churches and nonprofits, Houston Council member Wanda Adams, Tavares Jackson, and more. Call 713-522-0290 or visit us on the web at saveyourprop.com. That's saveyourprop.com. Don't wait until it's too late. Call us today. Do you have fibroid tumors or suspect you have them and wish you could have a therapy that does not require expensive and intrusive surgery? Houston Holistic Health Clinic has alternative therapies that require no surgery. Just call 713-781-9991. Do you have arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, or ADHD? Are you simply feeling a general lack of energy and the zest for living is gone? Houston Holistic Health Clinic has alternative therapies and healings that work naturally, easily, speedily, and with peace of mind. Just call 713-781-9991. Dr. Gracie Chukwu is one of the nation's top naturopathic doctors, certified and registered with the knowledge, experience, and caring you deserve. For the best in holistic, traditional, and breakthrough healings, call Houston Holistic Health Clinic, serving all of Texas, located at 6776 Southwest Freeway, Suite 535. That's Houston, Texas, 77074. For the best in healthcare, just call 713-781-9.